And I got to tell you right now that today's show is so special because yesterday, our very own Mike Eccles celebrated a big day in his life. He turned 93 years old yesterday.
Really?
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yesterday was my birthday.
How old are you?
61.
61.
Am I really going to make his day today?
Yes. This is going to... Now, the reason why I'm going to deviate a little bit from...
Is that what the party hat's for?
Yes.
Mike should wear that the whole show.
The whole show.
No, I got news for you. I will put that party hat on at 12:15.
Okay. At 12:15, I don't even know. Cupcake's in here. We got Stinkbait in here. Cupcake. I don't even think Cupcake knows who this is. In honor,
I will bet you he doesn't know.
In honor of Mike's birthday, Steve has pulled off the greatest birthday gift that you could give any 61-year-old man. Well, second greatest. I mean, if she was actually here, it'd probably be even better.
Yeah, he wanted to know what room and what she's on.
Yeah, on the phone with us about 12:15. Tiffany Lakowski. Yes. Lee and Tiffany, crush Lee and Tiffany. Tiffany Lakowski going to be right here on Hooking Up and Tracking Down. Now, here's where we deviate from what's normal. We got to establish some rules for this interview.
Yeah, amen.
I mean, we got to lay down the groundwork because I'm telling you, I can just see Mike already asking her questions that she doesn't need to be asked.
It has nothing to do with hunting.
Right.
You know, when with her husband 800 miles away, I can get pretty brave.
All right, Tiffany Lakowski, we do know that, you know, she's a hunter's wife.
Oh yeah.
You know, she's the kind of like with your son.
Yeah.
You know, this is the kind of girl you go, golly, you know, son, this is the one you really, you know.
You need to get attached to this one.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, she's really beautiful, and that's one thing, but, you know, she likes to hunt, she likes to fish, she does all the cool stuff, she's going to be your best friend.
She can back a boat down a boat ramp.
And she's beautiful, and I can only imagine her in a bikini, and I'm still imagining her in a bikini. And
she can skin a buck.
Run a trot line. And a country girl can survive.
I guarantee you.
But she's Tiffany Lakowski right here on this show. This show has just gone up to a brand new level.
Yeah, we hit a new high today.
Right now, at 12:15, we may hit an all-time record low, but...
It's going to be one of those interviews. It's going to be a lot of silence when she comes on. Everybody's going to be, oh.
Yeah. Well, I don't imagine.
No, we can handle Tiffany.
So, I mean.
It'll be a good interview.
What do y'all think we need to ask her about? I mean, you know, what do you ask?
I didn't realize y'all two were going to be allowed to speak.
Well, we didn't know if you would be able to speak, so.
Hey, two Crowning Waters, and I'll give her my best line.
He'll get a new set of bravery.
Yeah. I'll be invisible, bulletproof.
Yeah. Okay, but we also have.
I thought we'd talk about food plots with her. It'd be a great topic.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, where's this thing going to go? I mean, you know, you
got to start with her childhood. How she got started.
Sure.
You know, we got to get a little background on her.
Sure.
How she met Lee.
Yeah.
You know, Eccles is like, I don't think so.
No.
We could care less how she met Lee.
You know,
matter of fact, I hope he's not in the same room with her when she's on the phone with her.
My daddy always told me it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and that's the point where I'm really nervous with Eccles.
Now, Mike, this is not an 888 number.
You got to remember, you got to pet the calf to get to the cow.
So
this is
Paul Gary's trying to catch his breath.
This is going to be the longest show of my life.
Also, Johnny Geis is coming on today.
We're going to do the last show of your life.
Y'all remember when old Gary McCoy used to work in radio?
And he had that sidekick named Eccles.
Mike Eccles got his license taken away and everything.
Yeah. Johnny Geis is going to come on today, and we're going to talk about the best techniques for catching bass in the summertime. Live bait versus artificial. Who better than to talk about that than Johnny Geis?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you and I are living testimonies to that.
Are we?
Dude, I mean, there's no way. And I don't care how good of a crankbait fisherman you are, how well you might fish a Texas rig or a Carolina rig, you're not going to beat Mother Nature.
Hey, went to Disney.
Yeah.
Did the Disney thing last week.
Did you catch a lot of fish at Disney?
We caught a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Did we catch Johnny Geis type fish? Absolutely not.
No?
No, sir. The biggest fish I caught was probably 5.25 maybe.
Yeah.
Caught 2 or 3 of those. Meredith probably caught 8 or 10 fish, and none of them were over probably 3.5.
Artificials
She had
or
one
on
big
live
one
shiners?
on that broke her off. They were fishing with 12-pound test. I kind of got on to my guide. I said, wait a minute. I'm in Florida. Y'all are known as a big bass fishery here at Disney. I mean, they've shot TV shows on this property. And you're telling me I'm fishing with 12-pound test? I got broke off on 2 hook sets. One of them was a really good fish.
Wow.
But you're talking about a neat place to fish, though. We had a great time, caught a lot of fish.
What was different?
When
What
you're
made it neat?
Well, when you're hearing Disney music right there, the whole time you're in Epcot, you're fishing in Epcot, you see the ball right there, and you're flipping the jig or you're flipping a worm, and
Yeah.
it's just weird. But it's a cool place. We caught
I've been there a
of
lot.
fish.
I used to fish with Ben Clements, so I have fished with Goofy before.
Oh, have you? Literally. But we had a great time. Like I said, we caught everything on soft plastic. Now, when we got back to the dock, he did put, like what we call the salties, the black salties.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had some shiners about the same size, and he said there's a couple of 8-pounders hanging around the dock
Right.
that they've caught several times.
That's
Yeah.
a big shiner, 8 pounds.
Yeah, it is. Well, anyway, he put one of the small shiners on from there at the dock, and he had on a little spinning reel. And that's the other thing that amazed him is that when we got there, he's like, okay, I guess y'all are spinning reel people. I was like, spinning reel? No, I hope you got bait casters.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I do for you, but she won't want one of those. And I'm like, excuse me? She can throw one probably better than me, so you better make sure you got a bait caster for her.
Yeah.
He was shocked. He said, I never take girls out that can throw a bait caster, ever.
Yeah.
He said, I'm impressed with you.
He's never been to Louisiana.
Meredith got in the back of the boat, and
She
she
got her own
flipped,
rubber
and
boots,
she
too.
fished, and she caught fish, and she was like, he's like, I am amazed. He said, y'all, he said, I don't get people like y'all.
Yeah.
I get the babysit people.
Yeah.
Where you have to use live bait all the time and hold the kid's rod and set the hook and
this
let them hold
button
the
right
rod.
here on this Zebco, you got to push that.
Yeah.
And then
He said, I'm having more fun fishing with y'all than I'd ever get to have with anybody else.
did
so
he
we
get
had
the
a good
money
time.
back?
No, he didn't get no money back.
Okay.
That $500 was very expensive 4-hour trip.
What? 500 for
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yep.
You better not let Johnny hear that.
Yeah. Johnny go up on his price.
Johnny could go up on his price, and it would be worth it.
Johnny's coming up on the show here in the next little bit. Also, Dave Mercer, weighmaster of the Bassmaster Elite Series and the host of Fact of Fishing on the WFN. He's going to be on the show here at about 11:30. And, it's kind of cool because as the weighmaster, I guarantee you he has seen stuff
Oh, don't you know?
that most of us would never dream of.
Yeah.
He's probably seen guys get a little bit emotional. He's probably seen guys get a little angry.
Yeah.
He's probably had situations where someone challenged his authority on whether or not the fish actually weighed what the scale said. I mean, Mike, that kind of stuff never happens, does it? Yeah. Golly.
Nobody ever questions the weighmaster.
No, not at all.
They really don't. Maybe once or twice in 11 years have I had somebody. I had an incident last year where somebody questioned the weight, and I honestly believe they were right. I think a fish jumped in the
Which can happen.
jumped, and the scales didn't settle properly.
Didn't zero out properly, yeah.
No, they zeroed out properly because I do that
after
every
they
time.
already- yeah.
But my scales divide the weight with a fish moving like 100 times in a second and then locks in on the weight. That compensates for fish moving and wind blowing. But I don't know what happened, but it was on a single big fish, and I honestly wondered myself if the fish weighed what the state certified scales said, but I would not pick the fish up and reweigh it because then you set yourself up to have to do it every time somebody comes to scales.
Right.
So
You know what? Those scales, you bring that up. I was just talking to Max Sharp the other day, and Max had just donated the money. His son Levi is fishing on the LSU fishing team, and Max had donated the money to buy them some new scales. And the difference between a set of scales that would weigh up to 25 pounds and a set of scales that would weigh up to 40 pounds was like double. And Max was like, how come you guys need this kind of money? He says, how often is somebody going to have a sack of fish weigh more than 25 pounds? And he says, why couldn't you just weigh, one fish and then weigh the other 4 if they had 35 pounds or whatever? And I told him, I said, man, you're not going to do that on me. You're not going to weigh one and then add that weight to the other 4, and I got to trust your math and all this kind of. You're going to weigh all 5 of mine at one time. You're going to weigh my big fish, and then you're going to weigh all 5 of my fish together. And he said, I want to say that the difference was like, I want to say an extra $400 or $500 just to get that extra 15 pounds of weight. He said, man, I can't believe how much these scales cost. But he had done, and in fact, I think they've got a tournament coming up this coming weekend.
You know, I would have to argue with you on that, Gary, because I would have gone for the, you know, especially not belittling any of the tournaments, the college, the high school, or anything like that. But when you're doing something like that, I would have bought these scales that weighed up 25 pounds, and I can weigh one fish, then weigh 4 more, and add them together, and I'm going to get the right weight. You'd have just had to live with that.
Yeah.
You know, before I would have asked somebody that was buying the scales to spend $500, $400 more. I saw it happen on Caddo Lake. Don McCutcheon running Media Bass, and Paul Keith and Sean Lane came in with 5 fish weighed like 36, 38 pounds.
Yeah.
And his scales, he had to weigh them 2 times.
Huh. I've never been in that situation.
Right.
And we weighed, we had over on Lake Merval, we had a guy that weighed 5 fish, weighed 42 pounds. That's the only time I've ever seen where they had to split the bag.
Sean Lane, Paul Keith weighed a 42-pound bag on Caddo with me in a tournament one time.
It was unbelievable. Speaking of local guys, one of our local taxidermists, Noel Watley. Everybody knows Noel. Noel for years mounted all the trophy replicas for the Bass Life Associates. I don't know exactly why. I do know that I just recently this week on Facebook saw posts from his wife Sherry Watley and his son Noel Watley Jr. That Noel has had sepsis set up, and I think if I remember right, that Noel is a diabetic, and that Noel has, it started off, he had to have 2 toes on his foot amputated, and now they have taken his leg up to just below the knee, and they're still battling the sepsis there. He is still a long ways from recovery. He's going to have a long road to recovery if they get this sepsis beat. So obviously we need to be thinking about Noel and Sherry and the boys, Noel and Ben, and keep them in your prayers as well.
Well, and I wasn't able to be here when y'all honored Danny Fox.
Yeah.
I think y'all did it behind the studio here,
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah.
How did that go?
It was amazing. You know, Danny touched so many people in so many different ways. And, you know, he's a man of few words, but when he spoke, you know, all of us can testify, he was just so comical. And even up until the last few days of his life, you know, he was posting more funny stuff on Facebook, and he was just an incredible,
very witty guy.
Yeah, just such a huge addition to the radio market in the Shreveport area. And we scattered his ashes right out here in the backyard this past Sunday afternoon about 2 o'clock.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
And so Danny will always be, you know, here on the property.
Yeah, that's great, man.
And
I'm glad to hear that.
I love that little guy.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Beginning.
Stay close. Here in a minute, how to fish for bass in the summertime. The best techniques, the best lures, and live bait versus artificial. Pros and cons of both. It's hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
I left something turned on at home.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter and fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as traps, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? That's like wearing your high school Letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Ask for one guy. Name's Johnny Geist, the best guy on Lake Fork. So make your reservations today by calling Lake Fork Marina at 903-765-2764. Simply a great place to get away from it all.
Speaking of Johnny Geist, Johnny, you on the phone?
I am on the phone. Did you get my picture I just sent Steve?
We got to look. He's bragging. You know, he can do that. It ain't bragging if you can do it, right?
I have no photo.
All right, now, Johnny, with the minute...
11:05, my customer just voted a 10-pound, 12-ounce bass right here.
Oh,
That'd be my new personal best.
Hey, Johnny, you don't like your job at all, do you?
I love my job. Do I say that very often?
Now, as Steve sat down in the boat, you and I and Steve sit down in the boat 2 weeks ago. Steve sits down, laughingly, tongue-in-cheek. What's the first thing he tells you?
Steve said, I'm only here to catch my biggest fish ever.
And then just a couple of hours later...
Two fish later,
what's Steve saying?
Well, now he needs a bigger one than that.
He want bigger than 813 now.
Yeah, I got a new record now.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Are they still biting like that?
They are. It's just unbelievable. It was a little tough bite yesterday morning, but at 4 o'clock we hit a spot, and we got 2 triples and 2 doubles. I mean, it was unbelievable. Just as fast as we went down, we were catching big fish. So,
well, Johnny,
a 9-pounder, 2 7.5s, and just a slew of 6s.
Johnny, I owe you some money from when me and Gary came over, because I went to Disney and fished, and cost me an extra $100 more to fish there than it did with you. But
I caught that on the radio a minute ago.
I owe you some money.
You're busted, brother.
Hey, Disney, they charge you twice as much than what it really costs, is all I can say.
Now, Johnny, I got a question. You said it got a little tough. What do you think brings that on? You know, just a little tough spell.
I think you just hit them after they fed real good, and they'll feed about 2 times a day real good. At least they do on Lake Fork. We're tied up right now, right in between 2 big bush piles off a long point. I'd hung a big fish here the other day, and it was kind of slowing, and all of a sudden, at 11:05, he gets the big fish on, and that's the biggest one Al's ever caught. He's been with me third year. He's from St. Louis, Al McIntyre. And then he reaches over on the other side of the boat, and he just put a rod in the rod holder, and it goes down, and we've already got the 10-pounder in the net, and he's got like a 6-pounder bouncing around the end of that one. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened the second day we went out with Johnny. Yeah. About 11 o'clock, they turned on a little stretcher, we called it, had a little flurry.
Do you get where you can just essentially pattern the time that they're going to bite?
Pretty much. They kind of go about an hour later every day for some reason or other. So you just sometimes it'll be right back into the morning spell. We do better than them, but right now it's late afternoon bite. I'm just doing just real good.
Hey Johnny, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to have to check your boat Saturday. Please don't have any live bait in your boat Saturday. I mean, I know it's going to be a hard.
Well, hey, if he took his best 5 brim, he had about 8 pounds in there the other day.
I'm going to have to start practicing casting, because I don't think I've made a cast in about 2 months now.
Well, Bistineau's a hard place to practice casting.
I will be in the cypress trees all day Saturday.
Well, Johnny, one of the things we want to talk about today as part of the topic of this segment is live bait versus artificial. You know, when Gary and I came over there, and as you do every day, the black salties and the brim that you're using a lot, you know, what is your take on artificial versus, you know, I guess being a guide, you may have a different opinion on this versus a guy that's just going out and fishing every day.
No, it's, you know, guiding to me is a customer service business, and it's what my customers want to do. And I usually ask them when they get here, you know, what do we want to accomplish today? What do you want to catch? How do you want to catch them? And if they say, I want to learn to use my electronics, we do a lot of that, teaching and coaching. if they say they want to catch them on topwater baits, and that's what I prefer to do all the time. But jig fishing, but if they just want to catch fish, I try to take them to the most effective technique at the time. And I have not found anything on this lake more effective once they move out here in this deep structure than the live bait.
Would that be the only con to the live bait fishing? Would be at certain times of the year you're just not going to be as productive with it?
No, I'm learning more and more about it. I haven't done it other than the post-spawn throughout the summer. I did start this year about March, about halfway through the spawn, pitching them on a cork, which a lot of people like to fish under cork, kind of freelining, and we were real effective with that. So as I refine this a little bit, I'm expecting to be able to catch them all year, but they're just not bunched up as much as they are at this time of year. So that's a big difference.
Johnny, is there going to be any time of year when you're going to put the brim and the shiners down and put a crawfish and put a crawfish on that hook?
You know, I haven't ever done crawfish myself. One of the guys asked yesterday, he was from California. He said, any place to get any crawfish around here? I said, no, other than at Bros on Friday night. They
a little spicy.
So get this. He goes by there, and the guy had some left over from the crawfish that were still alive, and he nose hooked them on one of these bridges, and he was catching fish on them yesterday. So, you know, I'm sure they will. But there's a little controversy. Some guys are all against it, and I don't know why. We haven't lost any fish. You got to know how to extract the hook. When you catch 26-pounders a day, you're going to have one that gets down the gullet. But
you're going to have that with a Carolina rigged lizard.
No doubt.
I've lost 3 fish this year that would not survive, and all 3 have come fishing a Carolina rig with a fluke on one day. They were just inhaling it, and I don't care how quick you jerk, they had it. So I think when you catch big fish, that exposure's there, but the negative, I think, is a lot of people that come out and do this, there's a learning curve to do it right. And to be able to use the right tackle so you're not breaking off lighter line and, you know, leaving a tag into the line and hooking the fish. So that'd be the only negative, but it's so effective. And people, kids, grandparents, moms, dads, wives, I've just had some tremendously happy customers.
Well, how do you advise somebody that might just be coming to the lake for the weekend and they want to try to replicate a little bit of the success that you've been able to demonstrate? You know, what pattern would you tell them to look for? I mean, what depth, what kind of structure?
Well, they just usually look for the boat that looks like a guide boat.
Get up next to him.
3 people on the boat's a clue.
Yeah.
Saturday there were 10 boats on the Grade Creek Bridge, 515 East Bridge, and some of the community holes that's very visible. You'll see people get in pretty close right there, and that's how they do it. But I'm out here kind of off the beaten path right now in a little ridge, and that's what you have to move to. And I'd say get you a good guide, learn how to do it, let him teach you what to look for, and then go out and really learn to structure fish. Because it's amazing how many big fish stay on these points, pond dams, underwater bridges. It's something to learn.
Well, Johnny, another thing, I guess it'd be a pro to using live bait versus artificial. You know, again, we all know bass become educated when it comes to soft plastic or deep diving crankbaits or, you know, hard plastic. Any type of hard bait, I think they become educated. But with live brim or a shiner, hey, that's a fish in their environment. That's what, I guess they don't become educated on those. They just going to eat it because it's natural to them, isn't it?
That's true. And I had one guy say, man, don't come around my holes fishing that live bait. You'll teach them to only bite live bait. I said, okay, so I'm going to teach every bass in Florida to start biting live bait. Come on.
Yeah, really?
All right, now here's something for you. You know, one of the pros of going artificial is you're going to be able to cover so much more water. For the type of fishing that you do, you better, A, have a really good understanding of your electronics.
Yeah.
B, you better know what exact type of structure it is that you're going to look for and the seasonal patterns that those fish are going to be showing up in those old haunts.
Right.
Whereas with an artificial lure, you know, you find a good 7 to 12 foot drop off somewhere along in there, you start sailing that Carolina rig out or a crankbait, whatever the case might be, and you're able to cover a lot more water and can possibly run into a good school of fish. Would you agree that, you know, that you're not going to cover as much water with a live as you would with an artificial?
No, because you can't afford enough hooks and leaders and lead, because you'll get hung up and break off. And again, I try not to do any scouting when I got customers. I fish spots so I know where the fish are. But when I'm by myself, I won't hardly fish anything that I know's got fish on it. I will actually put a swivel on that brim, just a whole gold snap with no hook at all, and drag it through creek bends, through the timber and all, and they won't hardly turn loose of it. So you'll find your spot like that. If you had a hook in it, you stay hung up all the time. So it's just a way I use to find the brim, mark the spot, and go back and do a little bait and switch. And there's another good spot.
Wow.
What about night fishing? Have you started that yet? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Well, my wife doesn't see me much now from daylight to about dark, so I'm probably not going to be doing that because I am so tired when it gets in the afternoon. But once this heat comes in here, we're going to put the Ranger Bay boat under one of these bridges. I got a big green LED light on it, and really see it. I'm thinking we're probably going to be some successful crappie, white bass, catfish, and big bass as well doing that.
Speaking of crappie, it's about this time of the year every year that the big white perch start ganging up in those brush tops, 18, 20 foot of water down on the south of the Pendleton Bridge. Are the guys starting to see the white perch show up just like that around Lake Fork as well?
Well, I'm sitting right now between two big brush piles, exactly 18 feet, just like you're talking about. And they're crappie right here right now. And I heard somebody caught a 10.5 Saturday reeling the crappie up from the brush pile. So that let me know to get out of that 24, 25 foot, come up here and fish around some of the man-made brush, and that's how we just caught the big one.
Huh, I would know.
He might start fishing with white perch instead of a brim.
We've got two big channels in the chest now, and brim. Let me tell you, we caught some bluegill yesterday. That I said, no sense trying to fish with that one. You can't get your hand around it. And I'm throwing them back, and the guy says, "Hey, throw them back in this pack live well here. I'm taking those home." So he had a 5-gallon bucket half full yesterday, and he was playing plays. And they love it.
Wow. Fantastic. Johnny Geis, you make sure you get Johnny, give us that website.
Okay, it's just LakeForkBigFish.com. Easy to remember. www.LakeForkBigFish.com. Call me at 972-800-3882. Got a lot of days open in July. June's just about booked up. Got a few left, so I'd like to show this off, man. It's an awesome lake. Come, let's go fishing.
Hey, and Johnny, what's your Facebook page?
Facebook page is it's just do Johnny Geis Fishing Guide. Just Google that, and I post pretty much daily pictures on that, and just look at the quality of fish that's out there, and come get you some, learn how to do it, and enjoy it.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny, we'll see you Saturday morning.
All right, I'll be there. Thank y'all.
All right. Got Dave Mercer coming up next, baby.
Dave is, if you don't know, he is the weighmaster for the Bassmaster Elite Series, and we're going to find out exactly just how cool of a job Dave Mercer's got, and maybe some of the downsides of it as well. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30, The Tiger.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities, such as trap, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge. Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck? You need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
This segment presented by Toledo Bend Lake Country, Commercial Power Equipment, Ranger Boats, and Bob Seeley Outdoors, home of the $1 million Big Bass Splash. Once again, back to you, Gary.
Welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down, 1130 The Tiger. Gary McCoy on the left-hand side of your radio. Dead center, the Ranger Pro Staffer, Daiwa Raj Pro Staffer, Steve Grant.
50-yard line.
In the corner, over there with the stink bait himself is Mud Hen.
He don't like that nickname, though.
That's okay. It's okay.
Most people don't like their nickname.
No. Well, you're just going to have to learn to live with it.
I'll come up with something else.
Yeah. Hey, on the phone is Dave Mercer. And you know what? You're probably very familiar with Dave, as being involved with the Bassmaster Elite Series. But his biggest claim to fame is his Facts of Fishing, the show. Facts of Fishing tip series. Over 250 days a year you're on the water, Dave? The phone was not. The phone was not on the.
You're there, Dave.
And no, he's not there.
He's down there. We got to call him back.
Okay.
The phone went on the receiver. Good.
We're going to tell you about Dave real quickly. Obviously, we mentioned this a minute ago. His addictive energy and comedic presence. That's Dave Mercer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His addictive personality and his comedic presence has garnered a cult-like following of fishing fans, young and old, affectionately referred to as the Mercenaries, made him one of today's most sought-after seminar speakers. Now, it takes me back to, did you ever see the movie Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler, the golfer?
Yeah.
That was, in that particular movie, that was the type of presence that they were looking for, was that young audience to come in and watch the sport of golf. Okay, Dave, you there now?
I am here.
There we go. Look at here.
We got him now.
We got to pull the string tighter between the solo cups next time.
That's right. Technology is awesome when it works.
Yeah, but
never, unfortunately.
250 days a year you're on the water, catching something.
Usually most days, but those other days that I don't catch them, I don't like to talk about those days.
Well, we're going to keep those swept off into the corner here.
Exactly.
All right. With the new TV show, how often of those 250 days are you doing something for the show?
I mean, we shoot. The deal with our show is we shoot every episode in a day, and we show what really happens. So we, believe it or not, a lot of those days are got nothing to do with the show. I mean, a lot of the days, obviously, have got to do with just taking sponsors out and doing media stuff. I'm on the water today, right now, with good friend of mine, an outdoor photographer, Garrick Dixon, and that's what we're doing today. We're taking pictures and catching fish. So,
where are you?
So I'm on Lake Erie right now. I'm looking at the wonderful skyline of Buffalo, New York, the city that invented the chicken wing, and it's probably responsible for thousands of heart attacks.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? If we didn't have the chicken wing, we wouldn't have Hooters, and I'd have an issue with that.
No, that comes up in section 1245.
We got Tiffany Lakowski coming on the show, and all he can think about is Hooters now. So, so Dave, now my face is red.
I'm just visualize and think yourself about me, and that'll get all of
that wipes out all that Tiffany thought. Huh?
The thing I always liked about
I feel
Dave,
dirty now.
Dave has these words that he uses at weigh-in time that aren't even in the dictionary.
Oh, sure they are.
Yeah,
sure they're in the dictionary according to Dave.
Yeah, Dave's dictionary. I mean, it's just incredible. I really enjoy you doing the weigh-ins. I think you do a great job for the Bassmaster Elite Series, and just want to commend you on that. I think you do a wonderful job. You're very entertaining. You make the weigh-ins enjoyable to watch.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, it truly is a dream job. It's something I've wanted to do my whole life, and thankfully, I don't know how I ended up there, but through Mark Zona and Kevin Van Dam and different guys like that, I ended up getting that gig, and
and I enjoy it. It's a blast, and I mean, working with those guys is a dream come true. And Mark Zona comes up with half those ridiculous things I say on stage too. So,
we've had Mark on before, and he's one of a kind too.
Dave, have you ever had an issue where there was an equipment failure, the scales, something wasn't working, the wind was blowing too hard, anything along those lines, and somebody really started to get a little antsy, while they're standing there trying to get their fish weighed?
Yeah, but we have had that happen. But that's exactly when I step away and let them deal with our tournament director, Mr. Trip Weldon. Because as I always say, everything that I say is officially unofficial. So, but generally everything runs fairly smooth. And we, you're working with the Bassmaster Elite Series. You're working with the best of the best. So, it's no different than having to interview the guys who race for NASCAR. I mean, they're very prepared, and they're the best of the best. So they make my job very, very easy.
So, Dave, do you have a moment where you were on stage at a weigh-in and you were just like, now, whether it was a hilarious moment, a sad moment, or what's your greatest memories so far in your short career with doing this?
Well, going into my 5th season now with Bass, there's been lots of highs and lots of lows. I mean, the coolest thing for me is to be that close to a guy when he experiences what could be, outside of the birth of his children and personal stuff, the greatest moment of his life. So, wow. I mean, there's a bunch of those. Obviously, Kevin getting his last angler of the year, just to be like, wow, I got to announce that. But, I mean, there's a ton of embarrassing moments. There was a moment at the Classic 2 years ago, I believe, and I'd left the stage because we had a commercial break, and they told me, you have 8 minutes. So I went backstage, and Trip went backstage, and, generally, that's when we go to the bathroom, right?
That was here in Shreveport. That was here in Shreveport.
Yeah, that's right. So I go to the bathroom, I left the stage, and Trip goes to the bathroom, and he's the senior member. I'm going to be a nice guy and let him go first. And I'm back there talking to Kevin and everybody, and Kevin's like, don't you have to be on stage? I'm like, no, I got 8 minutes. And I have what's called an IFB, which they can talk to me in my ear. Generally, they just make jokes and stuff, don't say a lot, but if they need you on stage or something, they'll say it. But I knocked my IFB out of my ear because I've got 8 minutes. Well, the next thing I hear while I'm about to go to the bathroom, I finally go in the bathroom, my pants are undone. And you can imagine what's in my hand.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, just and don't worry, it doesn't get dirty. And then all of a sudden I hear from 96 South Carolina, Davey Hyde, and that's Don Day, the arena announcer that brings the anglers in. And I'm like, well, wait a second, if he's announcing Davey Hyde, I'm supposed to be in there. So I did this sprint through backstage with my pants literally falling around my ankles, and got to go on stage. And I'm thinking I'm trying to hide this, but eventually I get to the stage where I'm like, everybody knows what's going on. So I made it kind of obvious and did up my pants and whatever. And then afterwards, it was pretty embarrassing. But the next day I'm walking through the expo and people are like, that was hilarious when you walked on stage and pretended that your pants were undone.
Yeah, it was a joke.
That was comedic genius right there.
Hey, Dave, this is Mike Eccles. How old are you?
I have just turned 40 years old.
40 years old. I turned 61 yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and warn you that in the next few years you need to plan more than 8 minutes. Because it's going to get, the older you get, the longer it's going to take. So you need to factor that into your breaks.
You'll stand there trying to talk him into it for a while. Come on, you're the one who wanted to come in here. I was having fun out there on stage.
And that's why I let Trip go first. I was trying to be a good guy, but now I just cut him off and make sure I go.
Hey, on the Facts of Fishing show, you have actually eaten worms, minnows, plastic lures just to see how they tasted for a fish. You rethink that? Do you have those flashbacks?
I'm taking that back.
Yeah.
Did you go back for seconds?
Well, most of that stuff just kind of happens. You would think, when you watch a television show that it's all planned out, and most shows are. Our show is not one of those shows. And generally, it's a situation where I'm fishing with something, and I just do it. And then afterwards, I think, wow, that was really dumb. And then the worst is, now, I've done some of those things on morning shows and stuff like that, because that gets people kind of interested in whatever. And then But now I have kids, and it's different now. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, and
But Daddy, you did
now
it.
I got to explain to them. But what they go to school and think they can eat minnows and stuff, and I'm like, no, those are TV minnows. It's totally different.
That's one of the issues with doing something live like this right now. I mean, we're always at the mercy of Mike Eccles over there at any moment. I mean, we could lose our license because Mike just thought this would be funny. But it's you're eating worms and minnows and stuff like that. Is there anything that you've ever done you went, there is no way we can put that on TV? That gets axed out.
Yeah, but I can't talk about those things on a radio show. I mean, honestly, there's a ton of things that I'll be honest. There's not a lot of stuff we've shot that we haven't put on TV. There's things we've put on that I was like, wait a second, how are people going to react to this? But generally, the whole deal with Facts of Fishing is, I grew up watching fishing shows, and there's a ton of great fishing shows. But generally, they go to a lake and they fish for 2 or 3 days and they, show you a highlight reel. And I always thought that's not how fishing is. So our whole thing is we try to show it like it is. And we've had shows where we've absolutely knocked their lights out, but we've also had shows where we squeaked together a show, with 6 tiny little fish. And I was apprehensive when we first aired a show like that. I was like, well, maybe people won't, everybody's got an ego and, maybe people won't be interested. But I've realized that the people that watch Facts of Fishing really basically cheer for me to fail because our viewership numbers are better when I suck. So kind of.
Well, is it okay that I refer to you
I'm like the Chicago Cubs of professional bass fishing.
Well, I refer to you as the Happy Gilmore of fishing. What he did for golf, I mean, because you've brought in that crowd for fishing.
I'll take it, dude. Happy Gilmore is my idol. Happy Gilmore is my idol. My dream was to meet Chubbs Peterson, man. If I could find myself a Chubbs Peterson to have in my life, I'd be a happy camper.
Well, Dave, we want to appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us and your video shoot you're doing out there. And by the way, folks, go to factsoffishing.com. I'm telling you, one of the best websites, and I'm not just saying this, Dave, I truly mean it. One of the best websites I have ever seen for fishing is Dave Mercer's Facts of Fishing. Unbelievable. Great website. Your webmaster is a great guy and does a wonderful job.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and it was great being on. I'd love to be back at any time.
Dave Mercer, Waymaster of the Elite Series and the host of Facts of Fishing on the WFN. Thanks, brother. We appreciate you again.
Thank you.
All right.
On the way. Now, you got to tell me what's her official title now?
I don't have a clue.
It's the Bigfoot chick.
Well, this is Melissa Adair coming up the next segment.
Right.
She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She's head of some type of social marketing extravaganza. I don't
deals with Bigfoot.
Yeah, and she has been at a website. They were the Bigfoot Chicks, her and a friend of hers.
Yeah.
And they've spent since 2005 researching and traveling around the South trying to going to Bigfoot sightings and trying to validify them.
Okay.
And now she's in with another partner, and they are she's like Sasquatch Unlimited or something.
Okay.
This is a highly educated individual. This isn't your typical trailer house UFO sighting individual that's on TV with, like you said,
hair
no
and big
teeth.
rollers and stuff like that.
I mean, this gal is going to impress you, and she's going to tell you the true stuff about the possibility of a real bipedal upright walking head.
Bioped.
Okay, I don't care what.
Two-footed.
I don't care what form of transportation he uses. Big old hairy guy running around in the woods in America.
Okay, Melissa there. She's on the way, and don't forget now at 12:15, Tiffany Lakowski is going to be right here, hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaStMaurice.com or call 318-646-0097. Natchitoches, Louisiana is known for its rich history, and when you talk car buying, Natchitoches Ford has the distinction of selling the very first Ford automobiles in Louisiana. That means they have been satisfying customers for a long time. Friendly people who will make sure you have a great car buying experience. Their no high pressure and hassle-free sales staff will do their best to offer you the best service possible when buying that new car or truck. Family owned and operated, Calvin Braxton Sr. and Jr. want to invite you to stop by and see the guys who started it all in Louisiana car buying at Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, just off the Highway 1 bypass in Natchitoches, or call them at 318-352-3677.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. We've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? It's like wearing your high school Letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
61st birthday yesterday.
Yeah, we've got a great moment for Kurt Carver right now.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
For Kurt Carver?
I thought it was
how,
for.
How about Al Druitt?
Al Druitt.
Fiberglass. I'm sorry.
When it comes,
Kurt has a great neighbor right down the road.
Sorry, Kurt. I'm sorry, Al.
We're going to do a double plug. When it comes to fiberglass repair, no one does it better than Al Druitt and the guys at Toledo Fiberglass. Located just west of Toledo Town, that's in between T-Town and Pendleton Bridge.
Right.
Al's crew is nothing short of first class. Let's face it. If you own a boat and you ever put it on Red River, it's just a matter of time before you have hull damage. These guys know what it takes to make your boat look like new again. It's also the home of the Gorilla Hull application that not only increases the performance, but also makes your boat tough as nails. So the next time you suffer fiberglass damage, trust the guys at Toledo Fiberglass to get you back on the water.
Okay, on the phone, Melissa Adair. And Melissa, you know, you were described just a few minutes ago by Mike Eccles as one highly intelligent person. That's exactly.
Thank you, Mike.
But I'm going to tell you, on Mike's scale, compared to we've got to have a little proof here. So you got to give us the background of Melissa Adair.
All right. I am a University of Georgia grad, so go Dogs. And we're
going to pray for you, darling. We're going to pray for you.
You threw that right out in the heart of Tigerland.
Yeah, this is all of LSU sports, by the way.
So I are college educated, and I'm a professional violinist and vocalist,
wow.
and I have extensive background in social media marketing, and I spend an awful lot of time in the woods looking for bipedal hairy hominids.
What's his name again?
Bipedal hairy
hominids.
I know that family.
Bipedal hairy. Do they live in a trailer? Bipedal hairy Now,
it's not the guys over in Monroe either.
Okay. How in the world do you get into the pursuit of Bigfoot?
Well, my dad always had an interest in it when I was growing up, and I, listened to his stories and watched programs with him, and saw some of the books that he had about unexplained, and so I heard a lot of stories growing up. And then later in life, we lost my mom too early, and my dad came to me a few months later and told me that his interest in Bigfoot was still alive and kicking, and that he had taken it online, and there were all kinds of things out there about it online. And he told me about this organization that put on expeditions all over the country and basically taught you how to look for Bigfoot. And he wanted to go. I could tell he was hesitant to go because of the kinds of people he might run into and what he might be getting himself into. And I said, but you should do it. And if you don't want to go by yourself, I'll go with you. And So he took me, and he took my brother also, which was a big mistake because my brother's a huge skeptic. But anyway, we ended up ditching my brother and having the best time ever and meeting the most fun people you could ever meet in your life. And
How old are you at that point?
I was about in my early 30s.
Okay.
In my early 30s, yeah, at that point. So, yeah, and so I just kind of got hooked and got into it and started becoming an active investigator for that organization and met all kind of eyewitnesses and went on all kinds of expeditions all over the country and just really got into it. It's really amazing. So that's, I guess, the long story short.
So did you ever come across proof in your mind, Melissa, that these things actually exist?
Yes, I have had a number of things happen to me out in the woods that I can't really explain, but I have come across a number of footprints and trackways that are, looks like a human footprint, but the measurements are all off and the shape is different, from a human foot, a lot wider. The measurements are, like 13 to 16 inches in length, and then 6 to 8 inches at the ball of the foot and 4 to 6 inches at the heel. I mean, these are not human footprints, or at least not your average Joe. And we found these, been able to make casts of them and find dermal ridges in them, and it's just these footprints are found globally all over the world, and they have all these measurements in common, and the footprints themselves speak to a skeletal structure, and they speak to a musculature, and they've been analyzed heavily to see if they've been hoaxed or in any way, and they come back that they can't find anything to indicate that these have been fabricated in any way. So it's a really, really, really interesting phenomenon.
Hey, Melissa, Mike Eccles here, and I appreciate you being here today. Enjoyed our talk a couple of days ago when you agreed to do this. The question I wanted to ask you the other day, and I stopped on the phone, on a scale of 1 to 10, put where you were at in 2005 in your belief, and then tell me where you're at right now in your belief that there's actually something out there walking around. I mean, if in 2005 you were off the chart a believer and now you're not, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest belief that there is something out there in the woods that we haven't put our hands on yet, where were you at in 2005? Where are you at now?
In 2005, I was probably sitting at a 4 or a 5. Interested, open to the possibility, but nothing really concrete to make me say, oh, yes, there's definitely something there. Since then, 10 years later, just about having interviewed so many eyewitnesses and seeing how their lives have been changed by their experience. I've interviewed big, burly men that make an NFL linebacker look like, look menacing to that. And these were hunters, people that went out in the woods all the time that refused to go back in the woods because of their experiences, what they've seen. When you just look in their eyes and listen to their story and just see how it's changed their lives, it's just amazing. And so I would say after all the eyewitnesses that I have talked to and then what I've experienced on my own and what I found in my own field research, I'm definitely at a 10 now. There's something out there.
Okay. Answer this question, and this is the key question. Why, with all the people in the woods, why do we not, or are we not able to put our hands on the remains, the dead body, the car hit, run over, roadkill, shot by the deer hunter carcass of one of these creatures?
Well, that's a really good question, and a question that's always thrown out to us as investigators all the time. And, these sightings and stories, on my website, which is squatchunlimited.org, I have, we've got articles that date all the way back to 1700, describing what they referred to back then as hairy wild men. Bigfoot was a term that was coined back in the 1920s. But they called them wild men back then, and they have accounts of people capturing them. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities. But back then it was a new frontier, and we didn't have the technology that we have now. But these are highly intelligent creatures. And, there are reports of them being shot. There are reports of people capturing them, but it always turns out, to either be a hoax or just inconclusive in the end. But, these are highly intelligent creatures that have been around for a long time. And, I personally believe that part of their ability is to, they have an uncanny ability to hide in plain sight, that they have, that they're masters at camouflage. And they do that, to preserve themselves and to preserve, I guess their group and to protect themselves, and so it makes it very difficult to find. And I think if they want to be seen, they'll be seen. But they're highly intelligent by all accounts that we've read from all the different reports dating back to the 1700s.
Are they from Earth?
I would say so, yes.
Hey, if we're going to open the possibility that they exist and that they've got this uncanny ability to never die, to never be run over by a vehicle, to never be captured, to never have a legitimate photograph, that's without reproach, then
there are reports of them being seen. There are reports of them being gunned down. There are reports of as having seen a body and then coming back for it later and it's not there. There are theories that maybe they bury their dead. There are reports of them being hit by cars. That again, when people go back to see what it is, they can't find any evidence of it. So, it's very interesting. It's a mystery for sure. It's one of the last great mysteries out there.
Okay, I got one last question for you. Are these supposedly are there herds of them out there running around, living someplace? No, running out there and breeding and reproducing, or are these lone animal creatures?
Welcome to this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week. I'm Ranger Boat Pro staffer Steve Graff, and I'd like to show you some tips today for when you hit the bodies of water that the wind conditions are really bad. The big waters like Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, they are absolutely unbelievable at times on destroying equipment on a boat on windy days. I'm going to give you a few tips right now to show you how to keep from possibly losing your trolling motor as well as your rods and reels. One of the things I carry in my boat, even though most Minn Kotas and all your Motor Guide trolling motors have good lockdown systems, when you get in heavy water, heavy waves, it's nothing for a big wave to come over the boat, knock the trolling motor up out of its, unlock it, and completely take a trolling motor off the boat. I was in a tournament a month ago, 3 trolling motors were knocked completely off of boats. One thing I do, and I always bring, is an extra bungee cord. I take my bungee cord and I'll wrap it around the head of my trolling motor. Like so. I wrap it 2 times and basically just hook the rope to itself. After I've wrapped my trolling motor with my bungee cord, now I'm going to use the pop-up boat tie downs to hook my bungee cord. I simply hook it through the center and it's there. It's not going anywhere. Trolling motor won't leave the boat. It's going to stay right here. It keeps the trolling motor anchored down solid. So that's one of the things that I like to do. And it's just, sometimes it's not necessary, but other times it is. The other thing that's very important, make sure the next time you get ready to head on the water also that your Velcro strap for your trolling motor is in very good shape. You want it to be able to hold the trolling motor head down and lock it sucker down where it will not move, okay? The next thing, one more tip I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna move this out of the way temporarily. Now, also, more rod and reels are lost on rough water. They just pop out of the boat. Ranger makes a rod tie down right here. All you do is clip it in, your rods are safely secured, they're going absolutely nowhere. So make sure when you head on the rough water, make sure you bring a little extra bungee cord, make sure your Velcro strap is in really good shape, and make sure you use your rod tie downs on your boat. That's this week's Hooking Up and Tracking Down Tip of the Week.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Too hot in the summer, too cold in the winter, and your heating and air conditioning system is burning holes in your paycheck, you need to call Luke at Guy Heating and Air.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
Welcome to the Natchitoches Shooting Range, where you can participate in many exciting activities such as trap, skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, cowboy action shoots, and many others. Individual memberships and family memberships are available, but the public is welcome. Come enjoy yourself at the Natchitoches Shooting Range on Tawson Island Road, just before the Grand Ecore Bridge.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT. Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452.
Welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down. I am Gary McCoy. In the middle of your radio, the Ranger Pro Staffer, Steve Graff. Also, the Mud Hen, Mike Eccles in the house. And don't forget, here at 12:15, Tiffany Lakowski of The Crush with Lee and Tiffany. She's going to be on the show. It's Mike Eccles' 61st birthday. And never before has our show been as beautiful of a moment as it will be starting here at 12:15.
I'm going to ask her to actually sing Happy Birthday to
Oh,
Mike.
I guarantee she will.
And I want to do it like Marilyn Monroe sang to John Kennedy.
You'll be happy how she does it. It won't matter how she does it.
Yeah. Mike, you going to give us some information on Paul's Farm and Garden? That's what I heard. That was what was on my planner.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't have it.
No, okay.
I didn't have it. Paul's Farm and Garden on North Market, a new sponsor of Hooking Up and Tracking Down. We had Paul on last week, and I think that's where the carryover was from this. And Paul made a point of he's got everything you need for food plots, home garden, flowers, everything, and that just like everything else in the outdoors, we're running about 4 weeks behind.
And he had a lot of new mixes this year as well.
He did. He had everything that you need for your food plot, but he was telling you it's not too late. Most people have planted their spring stuff already, and he's saying still do it. Don't think that it's too late.
If you were thinking it was too late for sunflowers, you're starting to get to that point.
What about tomatoes?
Go.
Yes.
Go.
Have you ever heard of leaf curl?
No.
Tomato plants. And I went to Walmart the other day, and I'm not buying any plants. I'm just walking through that section there, and I noticed these tomato plants just did not look good at all. It looked like they were wilting. Mm-hmm. Well, my neighbor, Burley Johnson, who we've had on the show, Burley was talking about how they have a disease called leaf curl. He said, and if you've got 10 plants and one's got leaf curl, you better get it out because it will affect
contagious.
It is contagious.
Wow.
And I did not know that. I grew up gardening.
Yeah.
I mean, we had tomato plants. I've never heard of leaf curl before, but Walmart came in that day
got rid of those
and took every one of them out and replaced them. Bonnie, who sponsors, Bonnie, by the way, plants and sponsors Keith Poche from Natchitoches.
Yeah.
for the Elite Series. And anyway, they came in, wiped them all out, and put new ones out. So I
Paul doesn't have that.
No, he doesn't have leaf curl.
No, never.
If he does, he's taking them out.
Now, he uses curling iron on his, straighten them out.
Leaf straightener. He used the leaf straightener.
Listen, Mike's got a Boss Tournament Trail, a brand new circuit. We've also got some other things that are going on in the nation and the country. And as we get ready to kind of wrap up the show today, we'll give you a little bit more information on that. But one of the things that we wanted to visit about right now is some of the best hunting shows that are on TV now and how often they can actually teach you something.
Yeah. We got a phone call from Mike. We'll see what he wants to ask a question.
So, but we're going to have to get Steve to quit talking to his wife.
Stinkbait is over there holding the phone now.
He's and then you can put our caller on the air.
Our caller is
Who's
gone.
our caller?
Oh, it was. I want to know if she was single.
Who, Tiffany?
Single?
Yeah.
Or the Melissa?
Tiffany.
Tiffany's no.
No.
Some guy called in and wanted to know if Tiffany was single. Tell him to get off the phone. This is my present.
This is not going to tracking down dating show. That's late night show.
Yeah.
That's our other show.
Okay, the best hunting shows
Harmony.
Lee and Tiffany's, The Crush, would you say that's one of the best out there?
Oh, it is one of the best hunting shows. I tell you
most rated.
Yeah, definitely. And Hank Parker 3D is another great hunting show that you can learn a lot from. Hank, just like his fishing show, does a great job. Him and his boys.
Education.
They do a great job of educating you as a hunter as to the do's and don'ts. And they use their experience in the woods. You know, they'll bump into a blind or something and say, well, and deer will scatter. No, hey, you don't want to do that. You know.
What about Michael Waddell? Anything he's involved with?
Michael Waddell's good.
He's educational, scale 5, entertaining a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
very
Good
entertaining.
point.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
And I'm going to tell you the one that I don't know why I watch it. Having done a hunting and fishing show one time, knowing just enough to be stupid and dangerous, I can watch this show and tell that it is almost phony to the max. How much trouble they go to put on and make it dramatic.
Right.
But I can't quit watching it, and it's Jim Shockey, The Professionals.
Oh, okay.
I
don't watch
sometimes
that.
want. It's like, I think that if he was around me, I'd probably not like him.
Yeah, right.
He just gives that uppity attitude.
I don't think that he's a real nice, friendly guy.
Yeah.
And the show, he can make you think that you were sitting on the ground and fixing to fall into a cliff, off a cliff. That dramatic, but I like it. It's a good show.
There's another show, which we're very familiar with, the new show, which has changed the name from Backwoods Bloodline to now the Preferts.
Right.
I've watched several of their episodes, probably 15 to 20 of them, and they do a great job of breaking their show down.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with how they break it down in segments and actually walk you through their process of what they're doing.
Right.
They do a great. I saw one on
humorous too. And they're really comical.
Oh, it's very entertaining. Great show, great guys, and again, not just because they sponsor our show, but they're just it's a great program. If you're not watching the Preferts, which by the way comes on in July,
right?
We'll announce that closer we get to it. And were they on last week? Did y'all have them?
No,
they didn't. But I just got a text from somebody, and I'm not going to tell you who it is because he'll get in trouble. It just said Jim Shockey.
Yeah.
It's all about the show.
Yeah.
His daughter is smoking hot too.
All right, now what about we got to go to one of the standards from right here in West Monroe. Buck Commander, Duck Commander. What do you think?
Okay, Duck Commander, which is not Duck Dynasty. Duck Commander is a duck hunting show. Mike alluded that to me. We've talked about this a couple of times before when it first came out. I'd never seen Duck Commander. Of course,
it's actually Duck Commander is not a TV show. It is the videos.
Yeah, it's a hunting.
Yeah.
They're in a blind.
But they do show those videos on occasion.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the best hunting shows that you can watch because the videography in Duck Commander is unsurpassed.
Yes.
I mean, you watch one duck hunting show and you can barely see a speck in the sky fall when they pull the trigger. You watch Duck Commander, you see the head get blown off.
Yeah.
I mean, which you can like it or not, but it's the videography is incredible on Duck Commander.
And give credit to Jep, the youngest son, for it because that's his job. He is the videographer of that family.
Okay, one last one from my point of view. Jackie Bushman. Buckmaster.
I like Jackie.
You learn anything from it?
Jackie's kind of one of those entertaining. To me, for him, it's just an entertaining show. I don't think Jackie's one of those educational, I'm going to teach you something today kind of guys. I think he's more about, he may have done that before, but he's just more about entertaining now, I think. And he's become pretty famous. I mean, he's
and the thing I like about Jackie Bushman is they always have a prank.
Yeah.
They always pull it. Mostly
Foxworthy's on there a lot.
With a snake, though.
Yeah.
They like to drag a rubber snake or throw a rubber snake on, what's his name, Bushman, sometime, and I like that.
Yeah. Now, you asked about Buck Commander. Buck Commander I've watched, which those of you who don't know what Buck Commander really is, that is a group of about 5 Major League Baseball players and
Jason Aldean
and Willie.
Well,
Jason Aldean.
And Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryant. Luke Bryant.
Luke something like
Yeah. and like I said, 4 or 5 Major League Baseball players, and they all go out. They do a really good job on their hunts as well, too. Their hunts are very entertaining and educational as well. Yeah. But for them, you can tell they got money. Yeah. I mean, they're all money people.
Right.
They the way they hunt.
We don't get to hunt where they hunt.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Okay, here in just a minute, we've got who's coming up? What's her name? What's her name?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Tiffany Lakowski of The Crush with Lee and Tiffany. She's married. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down. 11:30. The Tiger.
Some things just stayed the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bin. Zoom Die with Gene LaRue and Sam Tone. Now double the size of the original store. You have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bin. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake. Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, MidwayMarinaStMaurice.com or call 318-646-0097.
Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchez, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchez.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Prefert Backwoods Bloodline, Spro Lures, BioBore Fuel Treatment, and Daiwa Rods and Reels. Again, back to the 3 amigos who are true legends, in their own mind, that is. Steve Graff, Gary McCoy, and Mike Eccles.
Hey, with boat ramps and facilities all along the Red River system, now's the time to take advantage of not only the great fishing, but it's also a great place for pleasure boating as well. With hundreds of sandbars to choose from, it's a camper's dream and a great way to enjoy what Red River has to offer. So take advantage of a facility near you and get out on this great body of water and enjoy the slow-moving waters of the Red River. Go to redriverwaterway.com for more information.
Well, We're still waiting on Tiffany to call.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'll wait all day. I don't care. The show can be over about 3 or 4 hours. I will still be sitting here waiting on Tiffany Lakowski to call. Now, maybe she's. Hey, if she's anything like my wife, she's going to be 10 minutes late, buddy.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a woman on time?
My wife's on time.
Is she?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
Did you make her that way, or was she that way when y'all met?
She's always been that way. She's always been prompt. She's always been just on time.
What about Charlotte? Charlotte always late or on time?
God love her. You know, I told somebody this morning. We need to leave at 6:30 means a totally different thing to me than it does to her. And when I say we need to leave at 6:30, that means at 6:30
you're sitting in the truck.
I'm going to crank my truck, pull out of the driveway, and get to my destination on time, or heaven forbid, 5 minutes early, which is against the law according to some people. At 6:30, I say we've got to leave at 6:30. That means it's time to get up, go to the bathroom, brush your hair, look for your purse.
Yeah.
Get in the car, get back out of the car, fix a glass of tea, get in the car, get back out, go find your cell phone. 6:45, you're on the road.
Yeah. I have to lie to Julie. If I want to be somewhere on time, I have to lie to Julia.
Really?
I have to tell her, if we need to leave at 6:30, I got to tell her we got to go at 6. And you would think after 17 years of marriage that she would have understood, and obviously she listens to the show every week, so she knows right now I've been lying to her for 17 years.
But and I'm not picking on Charlotte. It's
that's a woman thing.
For the most part, it is a woman thing. My daughter, Tricia, is 3 times worse than she is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, the reason why we're talking about being tardy, hopefully we didn't get stood up. Hopefully she's just running a little bit traditionally late. Tiffany Lakowski.
I think she decided to get on a plane and fly down here to see me.
Yeah, it's all for Mike's birthday. Mike's turning 61 years.
She's going to walk in the studio.
Okay, let's kill time while we're waiting on Tiffany, because Tiffany's going to call.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Boss Tournament Trail.
Landers Ram Boss Tournament Trail Championship this weekend on Lake Bistineau. 2-day tournament. We're going to give away 2 Ranger boats, a fiberglass boat and an aluminum duck boat. And the lake has been off limits this week, Monday through Friday. We had 88 teams qualified for the championship.
Wow.
I hope all 88 of them actually sign up and fish. They'll be fishing Saturday, and what we'll do, you'll go out, everybody will fish Saturday, we'll come in, total up all the weights, and then we will divide the field in half. First place down to, say, 44th, who finishes that day.
Right.
Those anglers will be fishing the next day for the big Ranger, the fiberglass boat.
Gotcha.
45th through 88th place will be competing for the aluminum boat and the 25 horsepower motor.
So you could finish conceivably in 44th place and win a boat.
Yes. You can go out the first, and that's the reason I did it that way. You can go out and catch 5 or 6 pounds the first day. In any other tournament, you're out. You might as well not even come back.
Right.
And with this, you're still in contention the next day. Everybody is to win a boat the second day.
Now, any value on these boats, Mike? I mean, any idea ballpark?
Oh yeah, a lot of value. And they're fishing boats, Graf.
I mean,
I want to say the second place boat is probably worth about $9,000 or $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
First
that's
place
worth
boat.
Coming back. Yeah, my point.
Yeah, the first place is probably $25,000-$30,000.
Way to go!
Now
these guys have to pay an entry fee to fish in this one as well.
They do have an entry fee, same as the other qualifying tournaments. But what's going to happen is you're going to have a boat for first place and first place in the second division.
Right.
Then if we have 88 teams, that's going to be 18 teams will get a check out of the entry fee money.
Mm-hmm.
Then 30 places, what we have the bonus bucks program, which would be like 48 places out of 88 is going to get a check. 48 plus the 2 boats, that's 50.
Yeah.
50 places.
Wow.
And I talked to Cody Brazil yesterday. We're probably going to throw in some extra money, at least another 10 places bonus bucks. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 places out of 88 going to go home with a check this weekend.
Now, who's the reigning champs?
Anglers of the Year, congratulations to Mark Hay and Earl Glass, or Anglers of the Year.
Way to go, boys.
Really has nothing to do with the championship.
No,
but
I'm talking about last year's reigning champs of this.
Well, we do. Last year it was Ricky Lee and Jeremy Botica.
Okay, that's what I wanted. Are they fishing?
2013, yes, they're fishing this year. I'm not sure where they finished second or third.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, you put Jeremy Botica over on Lake Bistineau, you got your hands full.
Well, and Ricky, is a hand there too, but you just take your 4 first tournaments, and that establishes Anglers of the Year for 2014 are established. That's Mark and Earl. Means they fish again free next year.
Oh, fantastic!
They get entry fee.
Jeremy and his wife just had triplet girls.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to tell you right now, Jeremy is probably looking forward to this tournament more than any other human being that you could have. Because every time I see him, he's got at least 2 babies in his hand, and one of them always needs to be changed. So, for him to get to go to the lake for 8-10 hours, he's
right.
like, yeah.
Well, there's some other guys that I can guarantee you will be in the hunt. That's Jeff Payton and Eddie Shaw.
Without a doubt.
Randy Fair and Jeremy Fair.
Yeah.
Those are Bistineau people. And I tell you what, this should be a great tournament.
Todd Fisher, Mike Leppert. You can never rule out Jeff Holder.
Whoever he's fishing with.
Jeff Holder and Terry Burkhart. Golly, there's so many people that can pull this off.
Is Parker and Hodges fishing?
Parker and Hodges have fished all year long. I don't believe that David made the last tournament. I don't.
Okay.
No, that's not true. He did. Caught a fish.
Oh, good.
Caught a
Cool.
fish. I'm sorry. Yes, they'll be there.
Okay.
And once again, hats off to George for hanging in there and taking care of David and seeing that he's able to get out there and fish. It's just he's gone the extra mile.
This is National Fishing and Boating Week. Yeah. And every year, in conjunction with National Fishing and Boating Week, Louisiana holds its free fishing days, where you don't have to have the state-mandated license for either the cane pole or for a rod and reel.
Right.
And they're doing that this Saturday and Sunday. I want to say Texas is observing it just Saturday. But I read something on the Texas Wildlife and Fisheries website the other day. I don't think they ever charge. You don't ever have to have a license when you're fishing in a Texas state park. So, like if you are at over at Rayburn, right, and you're fishing in one of the state parks, even it doesn't have to just be right there. I mean, it has to be right there in the confines of the park. But you can fish in the lake without a license of any sort. So I thought that was kind of cool.
So it's Louisiana and Texas this week.
Well, just Saturday. Just Saturday in Texas. Saturday, Sunday
so what if you're
in Louisiana.
Caddo and you're on the Louisiana side of the lake and you get checked?
Well, Sunday, you better have, if you're on Louisiana, you're okay.
For Sunday, but not Saturday.
Saturday, both. Like I said, in Louisiana, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, okay.
In Texas, just Saturday.
Just Saturday.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Get a dang license.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what? Your license.
Why do you think they do this?
Your license is going to expire on June 30th anyway. Now, we have seen some complications before where they didn't have them ready yet. Mm-hmm. I think that was last year we had that problem, if you remember.
Right.
But go ahead and get your new license, and while you're at it, go ahead and get your hunting license, get your big game, get your turkey license stamp, duck stamps, the whole 9 yards. Get it all knocked out so you don't have to think about that again until this time next year.
And I've never understood, why doesn't Louisiana do it like Texas does? August 30th. Because to me, the official start of the new season is September 1.
Why?
Don't you agree?
It doesn't matter.
That's
to me, the thing
that's the kickoff
to me
of
that
hunting.
Both of the states have it messed up. There shouldn't be one day of the year when you do it. It should be that your license is good for 1 year from the date of purchase.
Yeah. You can.
And I don't like the June 30th or the August 30th, whatever. From 1 year from the date of purchase.
That would require them to have to probably think a little bit.
Well, think about this. They've already got inspection stickers that are good for 1 year from the date of purchase.
It's ours like that.
Driver's license.
I
can go with that, but I don't know. I really don't understand where you come up with this. September 1st kicks off
hunting
anything.
Season.
Well, it does. That does kick off the hunting season.
It does. Dove season starts in the first weekend of first Saturday.
Exactly.
So you
That's
quit
why Texas does
September the 1st. You just quit fishing.
No, but that kind of kicks off the new sports.
Well, you got a new shirt.
I'm getting in a
my heart's breaking right now because we're supposed to be talking with Tiffany Lakowski right now, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I'm not going to give up. I will be here.
She calls in now. I'm pissed off. So
Well,
I
that's
don't wanna
okay.
talk to her.
Yeah. okay.
Good, because if she calls in, y'all not going to get a chance.
But one of the things that I did want to bring up is that you got a new circuit that's going to be starting, July? Is that right?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You're kicking something around?
Yes. We've had a lot of people said, when the ball circuit's over, the H&W circuit's over, the 2 Thursday nights wind down, which that's not this a week from tomorrow, we have our next to the last Cash Splash out on Cross Lake. We've got 2 more tournaments to do in June, and then we have the championship in September. The last Saturday of September, we give away a Stratus boat out there. We give away 3 boats this year.
That's for the Thursday night.
Yeah, with the Thursday night deal. Yeah, so like I said, that's next Thursday, and then the last Thursday in June, I think. But a lot of the guys were wanting something else to fish, ladies too, and something else to fish everything over by June. Some years ago, Jerry Hester did a bracket-style elimination tournament. He did it as a fundraiser, and it was a big hit with a small group of people. He filled it up real quick, and I didn't fish it, and you didn't, but I thought it would be a neat deal, and I put together what we're going to call the Landers Dodge Bayou Outdoors presents the Ram Slam, and this is going to be a team tournament. We will have anywhere from 4 to 5 events, depending on how many people are in it. And basically what you do is you pay a one-time entry fee, $200 per team, and you will be paired at random against one more team through a drawing. And this only works with a total number of teams, 32, 48, or 64. You've got to have that many to make it work. If we have 32 teams signed up, we will draw a lake. You'll go out and you'll go fish. You'll be paired against one more team. You have to beat that team.
Will I know who they are as I'm fishing, or will I not find out until I get back?
You will know who you're paired against before you go out, but you will not know what lake you're going to fish until the night before the tournament.
I love that.
Yes.
And
then when it gets down to the final 3 or final 4 teams, they'll go out and fish, and all 4 of them get paid. If it's 32 teams, let's see, where is this? If we got a total of 32, and you make the last 4, $2,500 for first place, $1,500 for second, $1,000 for third, and $500 for fourth. If we were to have 64 teams, you'd be fishing for $5,000, $3,500, $2,000, and $1,000.
And you're keeping this all local? We're talking Lake Bistineau, Caddo, River?
It'd be local lakes. I have to pick 5 lakes. We may only have 4 tournaments. If you have 32 teams, you only have 4 events, and 4 people are in the last one. If you've got 48 teams, you got to have 5 events to get to the last, and you've got 3 teams fishing. But if it's a 64, you'll have 5 events, and you've got 4 teams in the final.
Do you ever go to Toledo Bend?
No, and it's only because I told somebody today I can beat a Converse quicker than I can be to Black Lake.
Sure, I was going to say.
I don't care.
Yeah.
There's so many people have quit fishing Toledo because of Red River. That's when it happened. When they opened Red River, people started fishing it. That I don't think I would venture to say that maybe half our tournament field out there may not ever go to Toledo Bend in a year.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
So the only reason I don't go is I'm afraid I would lose my numbers.
Gotcha.
That's it. It doesn't matter. I'd love to go down there.
There's one thing I'd like to see brought back, and I've talked to Mike about this before, All-City Championship. I wish they would bring that tournament back and really do that. I'm even thinking about hooking up and tracking down, being involved in that, and us putting up the money to do that, because I just think that's something that has.
Mike doesn't have anything else going on.
No, what else he got to do?
Stay close, hook it up and track it down. 11:30, The Tiger.
Toledo Fiberglass specializes in fiberglass restoration, offering fiberglass repair on all major brands of ski and bass boats. Al Drew and his staff will get you back on the water where you belong. Everything from metal flake scratches to recarpeting, Toledo Fiberglass can fix it. It's also home of the Gorilla Hull and the headquarters of the Minn Kota Talon Shallow Water Anchor System. So the next time you need fiberglass repairs or restoration, go see Toledo Fiberglass just off the Texas Highway or call 800-554-5452. Some things just stayed the same, but not Toledo Town and Tackle. Still the best selection of tackle on the bin. Zoom, dive with Gene LaRue and Santone. Now double the size of the original store, you have twice as much to choose from. With a new deli serving the best hamburgers, pizza, and soft drinks, you'll find something that's sure to fill your belly. They also have a great selection of tees and polo-style shirts. So stop in and treat yourself to the best tackle box on the bin. Toledo Town and Tackle on beautiful Toledo Bend Lake.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. And we've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Mr. Twister, Lake Fork Marina, and Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis. The only guide you'll need at Lake Fork. Take it away, Gary.
You know that Johnny Geis took all of our Mr. Twister sensations from us. He saw how well they were working over at Lake Fork, and
I gave y'all a toe sack.
Ask him.
Well, yeah, I know. But that's so be it. Best times to fish from Mr. Twister.
This is your Mr. Twister best times to fish, starting this Friday it's an evening bite, folks. So you might want to go out there late in the evening and from probably anywhere from 5 to dark. You'll probably catch a good mess of fish. 6:35 p.m. till 9:35 p.m. on Friday. And on Saturday, it's 7:20 p.m. till 10:20 p.m. And then on Sunday, it's going to be 8:07 till 11:07 p.m. on Sunday night. That's your Mr. Twister. Best times to fish, catch more fish more often.
Hey, Steve, now what app do you use to get your Soliner tables and stuff like that? Which app are you pulling?
What kind of tables?
Soliner.
Soliner tables.
Do you know how to spell that? SOLUNR.
Solunar.
Solunar?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
I've never heard it said Solunar, but I'll take your word.
It's like it's anise oil, not.
Okay. Solunar tables. Well, I'm on. Hey, I'll take that.
While he's looking
he
at it.
has no idea what app.
It is the Solunar.
Solunar. Solunar. Isolunar. Okay. Isolunar.
Isolunar.
And is that a free app?
Yes, it is free.
Okay.
Great app too.
Okay. If you got one of the smartphones, you might want to check that. It's got other stuff on there too, doesn't it? Isolunar.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Isotone. Don't they make those gloves that you buy at Christmas time? One thing else I want to mention that this weekend with the Landers Ram Boss Tournament Trail Championship, we're out of the state park on Lake Bistineau. Everybody says which one. We've only got one state. I know they say there's two, but there's only one down there.
There is two.
And we've been a trailer tournament all year, but this tournament, and I don't care where you launch, but we all take off from the state park.
In numerical order.
By how you finish for the year.
Okay.
There is a mandatory rules meeting under the pavilion Saturday morning at 5:25 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I did this instead of having a meeting on Friday night and a rules meeting and having people drive in town from Lake Bistineau for a meeting and then turn around and drive back. Some of the guys even asked, well, are we supposed to launch before or after the meeting? The meeting is at 5:25. I will be through in 10 minutes, and we're going to walk down the water and take off.
Yeah.
You better already be
have
in
that
the water.
Yeah.
And don't ask me, well, what time do I need to launch to be on time? I can't set your alarm clock for you. All I know is that you better be in the water, launch, and then up under the pavilion at 5:25. And I will assure you the meeting will be over in 10 minutes, and we're going to take off. Angler of the Year, Mark Hay and Earl Glass will be boat number 1 the first day.
Okay.
We'll go all the way down to 88.
Or if you have 88 to show.
Yes, right. And then the next day, boat 88 will be the 88 will be the first boat out, and Angler of the Year will be the last boat out.
Okay.
That's how we're going to do it.
All right, now question. Because you're launching there at the state park at Clark's Bay, is there any off-limits area right there?
No.
Okay.
No, there's not. It's we do that a lot of time, like at Red River South when we have the 2-day championship down there. We do because you can say from this pole to this pole to that pole to that pole.
Right.
All the boathouses.
Yeah.
Down there's nothing we can do about it.
Okay.
And I've spent the last 2 or 3 days being the mechanical wizard that I am, I built a flume to release the fish. I've got a 20-foot flume that's going to have water down. Instead of walking up there when you weigh your fish, walking down there and just dumping them under a boat in 6 inches of water, this flume's going to take the fish at least 20 feet out in the water and dump them out into deeper water.
Cool.
Just another effort to try not to have, cut down on mortality. And one other thing that I want to remind all the anglers, BASS and FLW write numerous articles about this, and they all contend, and I agree, those fish are your responsibility until you dump them into that tank for Big Mike to check them. Right. They don't become our responsibility when you get out of the boat. You have to go the trouble of taking care of those fish until you get them to the scales. Mm-hmm. Please save you at least 2 frozen water bottles in your ice chest every day.
Keep that water cool.
And when which we furnish the bags, you've got to use our bags. When you put the fish in there, reach down there and get 2 of those frozen bottles with the lid on them, put them over in that water, and that'll keep that bag cold until you get to the scales.
Let me give you a tip.
Yeah.
What I do with my frozen bottles, I actually mix either U2 Pro Formula or Rejuvenate. Put it in the bottle, put about
Poke
2 or 3
ice holes,
teaspoons.
ice pick holes in there?
No.
Oh.
Just take the lid off, drop it in the live well, and it'll ooze out all day long. And I'll have probably 3 of those in my boat, and I just drop one in at a time, and a couple hours later I'll drop another one, and it keeps that water rejuvenated. Pretty good. It works.
Hey, let me tell you what now. I do believe in an additive of any kind. Whether it be,
I'm a firm believer.
You see the mortality rates change so much when fish are being treated with that. Right. It helps replace that protective slime. For some reason, the biggest problem with those fish is the acid buildup, the lactic acid that comes, especially when you're seeing fish come up from 16, 18 feet of water. Right. They've had a good long fight. They build up so much acid, and those will float on you.
Well, another thing that I do, as soon as I get on the water first thing in the morning, I don't like doing it during the wintertime because, you just don't want to weight your boat down with all that water.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, you get your water while it's cool.
I will fill my tanks up. I put 2 bags of ice on each side of my live well, fill it up with ice in the bags, take the ice bags out after the water's filled and cooled that water down, put it on recirculate, and then use the frozen water bottles as the day goes along, and I keep cool water circulating all day long through that system.
There is a new system. Ron Festervan told me about this yesterday, and I can't remember the name of it. But if you think about the old boats where you used to have the clamshell vent on the back of your boat, one of them facing towards the front and the other one facing towards the back.
Was that the Pro Air?
Yeah. And what it did was it directed air when you were running in the boat that went through your gas tank area.
Yeah.
To cut down on pressure. That's all it was.
It circulated that throughout
There is a system now for your live wells. Oh, God, I'm getting excited. The phone's ringing. You put those on your live well lids, one facing forward and one facing back, little small vents that forces air into your live wells when you're running the boat. But it also, they brought up the fact that these fish put these gases off while they're in the live well.
They do.
And it traps them because live well lids are so tight.
Right.
That these gases and heat and stuff in there, and even if your boat's not running, you can still circulate air. But this system, look like $30 or $40. It's
I'm telling you, I've told you guys this before. If you don't have an oxygenator system in your live well,
I love the one in your boat.
I'm telling you, it just don't get no better than that. I mean, that thing right there, when I pull a fish out in mid-July, I don't care how hot it's been, it does not matter. Them suckers are jumping out of the live well at 3 o'clock. Literally jumping out of the live well.
There's so many different things that really you got to keep in mind as you start entering the hot summer months, and keeping the water cool is the most important. Especially, you're talking about July, August tournaments, picking up that water early in the morning. Right. That's key. Keeping some fresh frozen water bottles on hand. That's another key. Rejuvenate or any other fish preservative like that. That's another key. But I'm going to tell you right now, all you got to do is lose one tournament because you lost 3-4 dead fish penalties. It's a lesson well learned.
Yep. And in tournament trails, as Mike knows and ounces can be the difference between first and 10th.
Oh, without a doubt.
So it can be that tight.
Hey, we're, a week away? Is it? Yeah, coming up next Sunday, June the 15th, Father's Day. Sunday week.
We got some gift ideas.
Yeah, that's next. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Next stop, Chi-Town, Leo.
When I go shopping, I want camo, fishing tackle, guns, hunting gear, work clothes.
And when I go shopping, I want home decor, gifts, children's and baby clothes.
Fortunately, we can both get exactly what we need at the same place, Nichols.
All the name brands you can find in the big city without driving to the big city and paying big city prices.
Nichols, keeping folks happy since 1914.
Looking for a place to get away from it all? Look no further than Red River's Midway Marina in St. Maurice. Owners John and Kemp Nelson invite you to stop by for lunch or come in and rent one of several cabins for the weekend. RV hookups, and a nice boat ramp that leads to some of the best skiing and fishing on Red River. Fully stocked bait and tackle store with gas pumps on and off the water. So book your next trip online, midwaymarinastmaurice.com, or call 318-646-0097.
Hello everybody, Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff with the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. Folks, there's nothing I love more than my Rhino. I've had 3-wheelers, I've had 4-wheelers, but if you want the best of the best, you need to get you a Rhino 700 from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchitoches. My Rhino does more than take me to and from the deer stand. It is a great utility vehicle around your house. You can use it for all kinds of stuff, including yard work. I've got it loaded down right here. But one of the best features of the Rhino, it's got a dump bed right in the back of it. So go see the guys at Honda Yamaha Village of Natchez, Chip, Layton, and the gang over there, and let them show you the new Yamaha 700 series from Honda Yamaha Village right here in Natchez.
Legendary quality. At Ranger, it's an unparalleled commitment to incredible strength. With the industry's only pull-truted transom, we don't rely on the upper deck to support the transom and motor. It's a difference so strong, we sliced off this rear deck to show its independence from the transom. From total performance to your peace of mind. Cut open the whole story at rangerstrong.com.
Let's go eat at Honda's Steakhouse and Sushi Bar. They have all of our old favorites, or we could get something a little more exotic, like the Hibachi Grill, conveniently located at 814 Kaiser Avenue.
Hello, I'm Troy Umbehagen. We at Natchitoches Nursing and Rehabilitation proudly support and watch TV17's local programming.
Welcome back to Hooking Up and Tracking Down on 1130 The Tiger. This segment presented by Toledo Town and Tackle, Natchitoches Ford Lincoln, Gamakatsu Hooks, and Honda Yamaha Village, your local North Louisiana power sport dealer. Now back to the trio that think they're a hero, but they're really a zero. Steve, Gary, and Mike.
I'm Gary McCoy. Steve Graff, the Ranger Pro Staffer in the middle of your radio, and over on the other side,
the birthday smoke coming out of his ears.
Yeah, well, the birthday boy is Mike Eccles, and in the name of the new name of the show, we just got this from Big Papa a minute ago. The new name of the show, it's Hooking Up and Shot Down. That's us, hooking up and shot. But if you're gonna get shot down, if you're gonna get stood up, if somebody's gonna tell you no, not today, or I got a headache, it might as well be Tiffany Lakowski.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
There you go.
She had a headache.
I've talked my way through headaches before. That never stopped me.
Hopefully the point will come where we'll quit being angry.
Yeah.
Are you angry? Really?
I am.
Are you really? I'm just
pretty pissed off right now. I'm pretty pissed off.
I've got no pride. If she calls with 30 seconds left, I'm going to just I'm going to be in a puddle.
Tiffany Lakowski from The Crush with Lee and Tiffany. Hopefully maybe she got dates messed up.
I wonder if the Prefer boys maybe have her number.
Well, they probably do.
Yeah, we might have to get in touch with. We'll see what
I heard Michael Waddell's got her number.
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
Train wreck.
Father's Father's Day gift ideas.
I wouldn't have even gone there.
Now we'll never have our own.
Yeah, we.
Okay. Let's talk about Father's Day next week.
Okay, am I too old to cut the mustard, McCoy? By golly, you open the door.
Sunday is Father's Day. If you're looking, and if your dad's a hunter or a fisherman, we've got some ideas here that we think will really work great. You can't go wrong with a guided fishing trip with Johnny Geist.
Amen. That's number one.
That would be, I have that number one. The next thing, a guy can always use.
And you know what? I got to looking on his website.
Yeah.
For a full day of fishing with Johnny Geist, you know what it costs? $450.
Exactly.
And that's for 2 people to go, and it's only another $100 if you want to take 3 people.
That's for a full day.
That's all day.
They pay $500 at Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 4 hours.
For 4 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're out in the boat with Johnny Geist, if you do not load the boat, they are not biting today.
Exactly.
You cannot blame it on the guy.
No, there's no
It
one.
was Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You get mad at her.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, a new rod and reel. Guys love, I don't care if you got 20.
Yeah.
They still love a new rod and reel. You can't go.
But you know what? The best idea on that is
Gift card.
A gift card.
Gift card's great.
Gift card, or walk out there to where he keeps his rod and reels and see what kind he's
what does he
already
throw?
got.
Right.
What's he got? You know, if you see that he's got 4 or 5 Shimanos, 4 or 5 Daiwas,
Or if you know which one's his favorite.
yeah,
Get him another one.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you can ask his fishing buddy.
Yeah.
Call him up. Call Mike or Steve and say,
Right.
hey, what?
Right.
I'm trying to put some hints out there. Call Mike or Steve and ask him, what does Gary like to fish with?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Terminal tackle, hooks, sinkers. You can make a little gift bag of hooks, sinkers, tackle storage box, fishing line, favorite worms, spinner baits, crank. You can do a plethora of stuff and just put it in the bag for Dad.
Yeah.
And he'll think the world. I mean, you couldn't get a better gift.
Right.
Okay,
So
back up. Gift card. If my wife, God love her, or my daughters tried to get me a grab bag full of fishing, I'd wind up with 50 helicopter lures and the
magic
and a package of flying lures from John Fox.
and the banjo minnow.
I'm laughing to try to keep from crying. Seriously, all of these are great ideas, but they all go back to you really want to walk in there and put your hands on what you want to put in your tackle box.
But you know what? You keep bringing up a point that we just read some research the other day. 60% of all guys say that they would just love to have some time with their kids on Father's Day.
Yeah.
60%.
Yeah.
Also 60% tied said, you know what? If my kid can't be there with me, I'd rather have a gift card than anything else.
Right. The next thing that you can give somebody, a good pair of sunglasses. I don't know about you guys. I don't buy expensive sunglasses.
I never have, but you know what? My oldest son, Buddy, has got me convinced. I'm going to go buy me a pair of those Costas for the simple. Buddy has got.
When you say expensive, what are you talking?
I'm talking a couple of $100.
Oh, that is expensive.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be hard for me to do.
But Buddy showed me the other day the difference in what he could see through his Costas than what I could see through my the good ones that I got. Whatever
like
you call
on the water? You on the water?
Oh yeah. I mean, you'd be amazed. In fact, I just read an article about optics that I think it was Bernie Schultz was talking about this, and he said you'd be amazed at what I can see 6 feet down. I can see a fish pick up your lure that you'll never see. You could just barely see the top of the rock. There's an article on that in
I still think it was that big a difference.
There's a big article on that right now in Bassmasters magazine.
It's not how far you can see; it's how long you're going to keep them and not lose them. Determines how much you spend on sunglasses.
I'm telling you, that's me. I'm rough on sunglasses.
Well, you just got to do a better job.
That's why I got those right there.
You got to do a better job.
Those are Bill Dance Strike Kings, and they work great for me.
$10.
Yeah.
$19.95. Yeah. All right, for the hunter, a guided hunting fishing trip. A guided hunting trip.
Yeah.
A new bow, new shotgun, a rifle, backpack. Now this was a good one. I thought, a thermocell.
If you don't have, if he doesn't have a thermocell, there's something wrong with it. He doesn't hunt in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's a great gift.
Yeah.
Whether you're a turkey hunter, squirrel
and you know
hunter,
what? You
deer
can't
hunter.
ever have too many.
That's right. I've got 3.
You leave one in a stand.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got one.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I've got 3 Thermacells. I got one in my deer hunting bag. I've got one in my duck hunting bag because we use them all the time duck hunting.
Right.
And I've got one that I just keep in the boat.
Yeah.
What about a duck call? Would you trust Charlotte to go buy you a duck call?
Gift card.
Gift card? Is that definitely a gift card idea?
No, I wouldn't. I
mean,
trust,
if you try to, I need a teal.
No, I would not trust anybody to go buy me a duck call because you have to blow a call to know if it's gonna. If you can blow that call.
Right.
I mean, it's like trying on a pair of shoes.
And if nothing else, if you don't know what to get your guy, go get him an ATV.
Yeah.
Let's go get him an ATV.
Y'all's kids love you more than mine.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'd be lucky to get a gallon of gas to put in my 4-wheeler.
A red wagon,
The average Father's Day gift, $61. That's the average Father's Day gift, $61.
And you
my
know
3 would have to go in together.
That's what I was about to say. And you know they spend more on their mom.
Oh,
well, they better.
Yeah.
They better.
Yeah.
She cooks.
Yeah.
Dave Breck said it best in Bassmaster Bass and Times this month.
What did he say?
He talks about Father's Day.
Uh-huh.
You know, he said Father's Day is a second thought to Mother's Day. Just because they honor Mother, they thought they had to do Dad.
Oh,
so
yeah,
they do
of course.
Dad.
Yeah. You know what? About a month later, we're going to do Daddies, too.
I told you about that shirt I got for my kids one Father's Day. It said, "Our dad," because we didn't get to pick.
We'll certainly start getting started on your Father's Day. Start getting started. Think about that. I'm still hung up on Tiffany not calling.
Oh man, don't even.
We had some cheaters on
I think
Gunnersville that we never
you
got
got to do the final word, Steve.
Yeah,
You're getting the finger from Stinkbait.
You ready for me, Stinkbait? All right. This Sunday is Father's Day. Now we all know how.
No, this Sunday's not Father's Day.
It's not this Sunday.
No, it's next Sunday.
It's next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday is Father's Day. Now we all know how important mothers are, but a dad is also important in the development of a child. Dads help provide the foundation for confidence and self-esteem, which are critical ingredients for any child who wants to be an outdoorsman. It's a dad's job to teach their children and introduce them to the great outdoors. So this weekend or next week, I hope all you dads will get the opportunity to spend some quality time with their children, either on the water or camping out. Till next week, may God bless. We'll see you next week, hopefully with Tiffany and more hooking up and tracking down.
Did you notice some brands sending out trophies from 2006 at boat shows this year? Really? It's like wearing your high school Letterman jacket to a job interview when you're 30. But if other brands are going to raise the issue of awards, no matter how old they may be, we're happy to join the conversation. When it comes to awards, Sea Ray is in a class all its own. Sea Ray is the most awarded boat brand ever. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter has yours waiting for you. Bayou Outdoor Supercenter is Louisiana's family-owned RV and marine dealer.
Rick Terrell here for Terrell Brothers Furniture in Natchez, where we've got 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. You heard right, 7-piece living room groups as low as $5.99. We've got over 20 groups to choose from. So before you buy living room furniture anywhere, come to Terrell Brothers Furniture, 310 Texas Street in Natchitoches.
We love it. It's so much fun.
It's exciting.
Esto es vida.
Why do I have to wear a life jacket?
We wear it to be safe.
I've got mine on.
We're teaching our kids about safe boating.
Cogí un pescado así de grande.
We all love this life.
Wear it and love the life. This message brought to you by the National Safe Boating Council.
Sitting on the Texas-Louisiana border, the 6-parish region of west central Louisiana is an ideal place for retirees. Satisfying interests from history to the great outdoors, it's unlike anywhere else in the state and the place to make your future golden.
Surrounding the unspoiled wilderness of Toledo Bend Lake, the parishes of DeSoto, Sabine, Vernon, Beauregard, Wynne, and Natchitoches form an undiscovered Louisiana paradise. Those who have been lucky enough to retire here experience lush wilderness, days full of lively activities, and some of the most fascinating history the South has to offer. The west central Louisiana city of Natchitoches is an historical delight. The oldest city in the Louisiana Purchase, Natchitoches has such unique monuments as Melrose Plantation, founded by Maria Therese Quan, a freed slave whose family started the oldest Catholic church by and for free people of color, and constructed the only Congo-style house in North America. With attractions ranging from perfectly restored 18th century forts to uniquely Louisiana architecture, Natchitoches is a history buff's dream come true. The nearby city of Winfield features a museum dedicated to Louisiana's fascinating political history, with exhibits on such flamboyant figures as Huey and Earl Long. At the center of west central Louisiana, Toledo Bend Lake is the largest man-made lake in the South, with over 1,200 miles of shoreline. People come from far and wide to experience terrific bass fishing, great hunting in the nearby Kisatchie National Forest, or just to take in the amazing scenery. Another breathtaking natural wonder of the Toledo Bend area is Hodges Gardens. Located outside the town of Manny, the gardens, named after conservationist A.J. Hodge, consist of 4,700 acres of beautiful flowers, waterfalls, rocky bluffs, and wildlife preserves. For the linksmen, the Toledo Bend area offers championship 18-hole golf courses. Be it at Emerald Hills Golf Resort or Cypress Bend, Louisiana's premier resort, you're sure to find a great game of golf here. Near Cypress Bend is Bailey Bluff, one of the many fantastic places to live in this area. A development of private villas above the waters of Toledo Bend, Bailey Bluff is a perfect example of the great vacation and retirement homes you can find here.
My wife and I decided to retire to Toledo Bend in west central Louisiana in 1995. We lived in Shreveport. We basically wanted to get away from the big city atmosphere, but yet stay close enough for health services and shopping and so forth. We both enjoy fishing a lot. I am an avid bass fisherman. We have had 5 years and we have really enjoyed it here. We enjoy the weather, the lake. We enjoy the additional activities that they have in and around the lake. They're doing a super job of promoting Toledo Bend and the surrounding area. We have joined various organizations. My wife, a ladies club, and me, a volunteer fire department and lake association. We just basically had a great time. We don't have enough time to get in all the things that we want to do. We're busier now than we were when we worked.
Whether your home is amid the hardwood forests of the Piney Woods area or the picturesque landscape of the lake, you'll love living here. Fort Polk's presence in west central Louisiana makes the towns of DeRidda and Leesville a favorite place for military retirees. The Fort Polk area contains an excellent military hospital and Warrior Hills, a championship 18-hole golf course. DeRidda and Leesville are filled with eclectic shops and restaurants, historical and military museums, and outdoor recreation at every turn. A southern jewel in its natural vistas, rich history, and charming atmosphere. West Central Louisiana invites you to explore its wonders.
As a vacation destination or a place to spend your golden years, the undiscovered paradise of West Central Louisiana is waiting for you.
Good morning, this is Sheriff Victor Jones. I need your help. I need your help to help me keep you safe. One of the ongoing problems, technology is good, but one of the problems that we're seeing, an increasing problem, is texting while driving. I encourage all of you to help us to keep you safe by not texting while driving. Thank you.
You've heard the old saying, good things come to those who wait. Well, Natchitoches, the wait is over. John Abraham has just opened the best hunting and fishing store in Natchitoches. Cypress Knee Outdoors, located on Highway 6 west off I-49, has everything a hunter and fisherman could want. Top name brands Zoom, Santone, Pelican, V&M, and the new Uzo baits, as well as hunting brands like Primos, Duck Commander, Hoyt, and Federal. So don't drive to Shreveport Ellick anymore. Go see the guys at Cypress Knee Outdoors or call them at 238-HUNT.
You're watching KNTS Digital 19 in Natchitoches, Louisiana.